The Galactic Military Academy of Vargan Prime was a cathedral of knowledge and warfare. The halls shimmered with light from twin suns, and its towering walls bore the banners of every known species that had ever joined the Confederation Defense Force. From the towering Kralti with their scaled armor to the luminescent Zalari scholars who thought war barbaric but necessary, it was said the Academy represented the unity of the stars themselves. On that day, however, unity faltered. The auditorium was packed. Thousands of cadets, instructors, and even a few visiting generals gathered for the Inter-Academy Combat Doctrine Seminar. It was meant to be a diplomatic showcase. How each species fought, how they survived, how they honored the art of war. Then came the question. "Cadet Thorn of Earth," boomed Admiral Vreklar, a four-eyed reptilian with a voice like breaking stone. "Your species' records show inconsistencies. Earth joined the Confederation barely a century ago. Yet your military engagements show kill ratios far beyond statistical possibility. Tell us, what is the kill ratio for one Earth Marine?" The room went silent. Dozens of alien eyes blinked. Some chittered in amusement. Others looked almost insulted, as if a single human could even be measured by the same metrics as the mighty Vrak soldiery or the hive warriors of Drosk. Cadet Thorn stood at attention. He was young, barely 20. His olive-drab uniform plain compared to the ornate armor of his peers. A single patch on his shoulder bore the insignia of Earth's United Terran Marine Corps. His expression was calm, but there was something behind his eyes, the kind of quiet focus that didn't belong in a classroom, but on a battlefield. "The answer," he said, voice steady, "depends on what you're fighting for." Laughter rippled through the hall. A Zalari scholar adjusted her translucent glasses, her bioluminescent veins flickering with curiosity. "That's poetic, Cadet," she said. "But we're speaking in numbers. Metrics. Neutron. For instance, a Dross commando averages a kill ratio of 7.3 enemies before death in ground warfare. What's yours?" Thorn's jaw tightened. "There's no fixed number." Admiral Vreklar's spined crest rose. "Why not?" "Because," Thorn said quietly, "a Marine doesn't stop fighting when he's dead." The laughter died this time. The lesson of Earth. Later that afternoon the seminar continued, or at least pretended to. But whispers trailed Thorn wherever he went. "Doesn't stop fighting when he's dead," a Kralti cadet scoffed. "Typical human drama." "You know they destroyed their own planet once," muttered another. "Nuked half their biosphere before they even reached warp tech. Savage species." Thorn ignored them. He'd heard it all before. At the edge of the academy courtyard, he found a quiet bench overlooking the training fields. A dozen alien recruits were practicing maneuvers, synchronized, mechanical, flawless. Every step pre-calculated, every shot simulated to mathematical precision. That was the problem. War wasn't math. It was chaos. And chaos was where humans thrived. Thorn's thoughts drifted to Earth's history. The wars of attrition, the sieges, the guerrilla campaigns fought in the mud and dust. Humanity didn't win by strength. Never had. They won because they refused to stop. When machines failed, they used sticks. When soldiers fell, civilians rose. Even when the sky burned, Earth fought back. He remembered his grandfather's voice, worn and cracked from age. "They think victory is measured in kills, son. They're wrong. It's measured in how long you can hold on after you've already lost." Challenge Day. A week later, the Academy hosted the War Simulation Tournament, an annual event where cadets demonstrated their tactical prowess. It was supposed to be friendly competition, but everyone was waiting to see the human fight. When Thorn's name flashed on the holoboard, a hush fell over the audience. His opponent, Vrixa Talron, top of her class, Drosk Command Academy graduate, and a legend among her hive kind. Her exoskeletal armor gleamed dark blue, and her 4 arms flexed with anticipation. The scenario was simple. Urban combat simulation. 2 squads. Last one standing wins. Vrixa's team moved like a living organism. Her troops in perfect formation, drones flanking, sensors sweeping every corner. Thorn's squad of humans. Minimal armor. Old-fashioned ballistic weapons. No drones. No energy shields. Just grit. The simulation began. Almost immediately, Vrixa's forces cornered the humans. Her drones flushed them out of the upper floors with plasma bursts. 3 humans down in seconds. She sneered, mandibles clacking in triumph. "End this quickly," she hissed to her second. "Their emotional chaos is no tactic." But then silence. No return fire. No movement. The drones advanced, scanning. "T corridors. Dead comms. Where are they?" Vrixa growled. A flicker on her sensor. Then another. "Too close. Wait." Boom. A detonation tore through the floor. Dust filled the air. The drones went offline. When her vision cleared, she saw human silhouettes in the rubble, firing from angles she couldn't trace, moving unpredictably, even using their fallen comrades' gear as decoys. Her perfect formation broke within minutes. "Impossible," she screamed. But it wasn't. Humans didn't fight to win pretty. They fought to survive ugly. One by one, Vrixa's soldiers fell. The simulation AI recorded "casualty confirmed" in neutral monotone until only Thorn remained, bleeding, limping but standing. The final score flashed across the holodisplay. Earth-Marine kill ratio, 12-1. The auditorium erupted. Even Admiral Vreklar stood, disbelief rippling across his scaled features. 12-1. The simulation is flawed. "No, sir," said the AI calmly. "Human unit engaged under asymmetric conditions. Victory confirmed. Kill ratio calculated accurately." Thorn saluted stiffly. "Permission to speak, Admiral." "Granted." "The thing about humans," Thorn said, "is that we don't measure ourselves by how many enemies we kill. We measure by how many we refuse to lose." The silence before the storm. That night, the Academy buzzed. Cadets replayed the simulation feeds, frame by frame. The Drosk Hive News called it an anomaly. The Zalari philosophers called it an illogical outcome. But among the younger recruits, a phrase began to spread like wildfire. "Kill ratio for one Earth Marine. Doesn't matter. You'll run out of soldiers before they run out of fight." Thorn didn't celebrate. He wasn't fighting for pride. He was fighting for understanding, to show them that humanity's strength wasn't its weapons or technology or numbers. It was the heart behind the trigger. He walked alone through the starlit courtyard, the banners of alien empires fluttering in the warm wind. Somewhere beyond those stars, Earth spun quietly, small, fragile, and yet feared. As he looked up, he couldn't help but smile. Tomorrow he would face something far greater than a simulation. The Academy had invited the actual military observers, generals, warlords, and tacticians from across the galaxy, to witness the next test. A live combat exercise against the best. And the question would be asked again. What's the kill ratio for one Earth Marine? Next time his answer would shake the stars. The next day, the Academy's grand arena was filled to capacity. Thousands of cadets, instructors, and high-ranking officers crowded the viewing platforms that surrounded the colossal combat dome. The galaxy's most advanced combat simulation field, capable of replicating any terrain, any weather, any battlefield, hummed quietly, waiting. The event had changed overnight. What was supposed to be a training exercise had become a test of truth. Did humans really deserve their reputation? At the highest balcony, Admiral Vreklar and the Galactic War Council took their seats. Floating holo cameras projected their words live across 100 star systems. This demonstration, Vreklar announced, will determine whether Earth's military practices align with Confederation doctrine, or if they are merely myth. His slitted eyes found Cadet Thorn below, standing alone in the central ring. Your simulation yesterday impressed many, Vreklar said. But now you face reality. Live opponents, fully armed, no controlled variables. Do you accept? Thorn's voice carried, calm and sure. I do, sir. The opponents. The holographic terrain shimmered into existence, a shattered cityscape under blood-red skies. Smoke and fire painted the air with chaos. Rubble, trenches, half-collapsed towers. It looked like every war zone Earth had ever known. Opposite Thorn, 6 alien soldiers materialized, each from a different world. Veterans, not cadets. They were chosen for one reason: to end the myth of the invincible human. There was Cruel, the Drosk heavy trooper, 8 feet of armored chitin with a plasma cannon mounted to his shoulder. Zyra Vellon, a Zalari teletactician capable of predicting enemy movements through probability mapping. Jorik, a Kralti blade duelist with reaction speeds 5 times faster than human norms. And 3 more, all lethal in their own right. The odds: 6 to 1. No drones. No team. No reinforcements. Just one human. Begin. The signal horn blared. Immediately, the sky exploded with plasma fire. Cruel's cannon tore through buildings like paper, while Zyra's telepathic commands synchronized the others into a perfect formation. Thorn dove behind a collapsed vehicle, checking his weapon. An old ballistic rifle, projectile-based. No energy cells. No tracking rounds. Just metal and powder. The kind of weapon the galaxy had long abandoned. He smiled faintly. Let's make history. A shell screamed overhead. He rolled, fired once, twice, and a Zalari scout went down, shot clean through her optical cortex. The others reacted instantly, converging on his location. But when they reached it, all they found was a motion sensor, taped to a wall, blinking red. Then the building detonated. Dust filled the air. The audience gasped. Even the AI moderators paused their feed to confirm a hit. 2 opponents down. For remaining. Adaptation. Zyra's voice echoed through the comms. He's using guerrilla tactics. Unpredictable. No pattern. Then burn the area, Jorik hissed, drawing twin plasma blades. We'll smoke him out. They unleashed thermal grenades, melting through steel and stone. Thorn darted between shadows, every movement improvised. He wasn't faster or stronger, but he was unpredictable. He didn't fight by any manual. A shot grazed his arm. Pain flared. He gritted his teeth, exhaling through clenched jaw. In the haze of smoke, he could hear his old sergeant's words in his head. Pain means you're still in the fight. Use it. He crawled through the wreckage, grabbed a shard of broken rebar, and wired it to a discarded plasma cell. Crude trap. Only. Effective. When Cruel's heavy steps thundered past, the cell went off like a miniature sun. The explosion sent a shockwave that tore the arena's illusionary walls apart. Cruel's armor cracked. The Drosk roared, but Thorn was already behind him. He fired once. The cannon fell silent. Bree left. The telepath. Only Zyra Vellon remained calm. Her voice was a whisper in everyone's mind. He fights without plan, but every act is deliberate, every loss a lure, every movement bait. She closed her eyes, scanning the probability field. In her mind, thousands of possibilities bloomed. Paths, reactions, outcomes. All but one led to victory. She spoke aloud. You die in 13 seconds, human. Thorn crouched behind cover, blood seeping through his sleeve. Then I've got 12 to surprise you. He moved before she finished recalculating. A fragment grenade. Primitive, mechanical, unpredictable. She deflected it telekinetically, easy. But she didn't see the second grenade bounce off the wall behind her. It wasn't explosive. It was smoke. Thick, dark, human-made smoke that jammed her sensors and bent her psychic perception. She screamed as Thorn broke through the haze, rifle empty, blade drawn, and tackled her to the ground. When the smoke cleared, only two remained. Thorn and Jorek, the Kralti duelist. Warrior to warrior. The audience held its breath. Jorek's blades shimmered with plasma light. You fought well, human. But the ratio ends here. Thorn dropped his empty rifle. His armor was cracked, blood dripping down his side. You're right, he said quietly. This isn't about numbers anymore. The Kralti lunged, lightning fast, twin blades whirling. Thorn barely dodged, sparks flying as metal met metal. His knife was shorter, duller, primitive. But every parry came with grit, every strike fueled by sheer refusal. Jorek slashed across his chest. Thorn staggered, but stepped inward, not back. Too close for the plasma blades to swing. He headbutted the alien hard enough to dent the armor. Then, using his last burst of strength, he drove his blade upward, through Jorek's armor seam, straight into the throat. Both men fell. For a long moment there was only silence. Then Thorn moved. Slowly, painfully. He rose to his feet. The arena lights froze on him. One man standing among 6 defeated veterans. What's the kill ratio? Admiral Vreklar stood speechless. The audience erupted into chaos. Cheers, disbelief, even reverence. The AI announced. Combat concluded. Final record. Earth Marine, 6 confirmed kills, 0 survivable opponents. Kill ratio, immeasurable. Impossible, muttered Vreklar. No species can do this alone. Thorn saluted. His movements slow but deliberate. His voice echoed through the chamber, hoarse but unwavering. Sir, the question was wrong from the start. You asked what the kill ratio for one Earth Marine is. But a Marine doesn't fight for a ratio. He fights so his people live to see another sunrise, even if he doesn't. He paused, the quiet stretching through the vast hall. You want a number. Fine. One Earth Marine fights until either he's gone, or there's no enemy left standing. The crowd fell into silence. Even the warlords in the upper tiers, veterans of centuries of conflict, couldn't find words. The data spoke for itself. A single human had outlasted 6 elite soldiers in a full combat simulation with no reinforcements, no advanced gear, and no external aid. No one could deny it anymore. Humans didn't fight because they could win. They fought because surrender wasn't in their vocabulary. Aftermath. In the days that followed, the phrase spread through the stars like wildfire. At outposts in barracks across fleets, soldiers repeated it in awe and fear alike. What's the kill ratio for one Earth Marine? Doesn't matter. You'll run out of troops before he runs out of fight. Cadet Thorn graduated with honors that year, the first human ever awarded the Confederation Medal of Valor while still in training. He turned down the pomp, the interviews, the endless offers from alien military academies. He only said one thing. Don't remember my name. Remember what we stand for. And he returned to Earth, to teach the next generation that victory isn't numbers, tactics, or technology. It's the stubborn, burning spark that refuses to die. Epilogue. The Academy speaks. Years later, in that same auditorium where the question was first asked, a new generation of cadets gathered for orientation. On the massive hollow screen behind the stage, a single quote was etched in golden light. The kill ratio for one Earth Marine cannot be calculated, only survived. The cadets stood silent, staring. Among them were humans, Drosk, Kralti, and Zalari alike, all wearing the same patch on their shoulders. Not of a single world, but of one unified force. The United Terran Confederation.